Norman could just give us a bit of a summary about what happened when the Indigenous people went back to Britain.
Thank you. Went to reconciliation in 1997, Coventry, the conference at Coventry Cathedral in England with my wife Barbara, and we repented for the black and white attitudes to the British and released forgiveness. We believed that was a seed for reconciliation to come. Roger Mitchell had come to Praise Crobbery in 1997 to organise a British visit in 1998 and repented to the group of Aborigines, and I led the acceptance and release of forgiveness there. We set up the Centre for International Reconciliation and Peace and hosted the Reconciliation Conference in Cairns, where I live, in 1998 as a result of our 97 visit. Through Brian Pickering, we hosted Brian Mills and the British team at our conference as part of their 7-week Australian reconciliation tour, saying sorry. We also joined the Australian Prayer Network at Uluru for their 2 Chronicles 7:14 with the prophetic cry of "Come home." Barbara and I were part of the 1999 Australian Prayer Network tour of England, in which we said, "We forgive you." Significant events were praying that angels would ascend and descend on the 199 steps at Whitby, where Captain Cook was born, sitting in the church he worshipped and where he left from for Australia. Captain Cook claimed the east coast of Australia for the British. I prayed 100-fold blessings right there, and the sense of many things that took place in the spirit. At Birmingham, I initiated a prophetic act of making a ship from the British, Australian, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags, with Ben Gray and Brian Pickering launching it to Australia. We then received this conference we hosted at the Sydney Opera House in 2006 by coming into the Harbour Bridge on a ship, and that conference was called Shaping History into Place, the big ship, near where the first fleet did, and doing a reenactment, coming in the right spirit to the traditional owners' welcome. At Portsmouth, we had the Australians coming ashore where the first fleet had left from for Australia, and had an exchange of rings, a wedding ceremony between the British and Australians. There is a 2 rings monument at Portsmouth in Sydney commemorating the 2 nations. There was 3 prophetic signs there. One was wedding bells nearby, and one of a ship called the Pride of Portsmouth. As there was a memorial nearby to the first Governor of New South Wales, Arthur Phillips, I pulled a spear out of his back prophetically as Brian Mills stood in for him. Philip had been speared by an Aboriginal person and survived. We did this at the police station in London. In 2020, we hosted our usual Australian Day prayer conference in Canberra, and I reenacted this prophetically, pulling the spear out of Philip and white Australians, and a shift occurred. I also did a prophetic act of healing regarding Captain Cook. The first act of reconciliation in Australia took place in Cooktown, a place called Cooktown, and not far from where I live in Cairns, Australia. It was between a Cook and the Cooktown Aborigines, initiated by Aboriginal elders after the event over fighting after a turtle theft in 1770. And the sense that I really believe that the key to healing was forgiveness. And I want to release that forgiveness to my brothers and sisters in the UK, that you would receive this, and that God's blessings will come upon you. One of the things that the Lord said to me was the word healing every aching lives internationally, nationally and generationally. And I sense that this is a 50-20 movement that's in the spirit happening, that what was meant for wrong, God's going to turn around for his good, the saving of many lives. So I sense that in the spirit that God is doing great things. And when he said the word colonization, where the nation has colonized Australia and other Commonwealth nations, the Lord says, I want you to spiritually colonize the British nation for his kingdom. And together, I believe that's what we can do. God bless you.